Mounjaro worked, but I'm still fat. That's the part nobody really prepares you for. My A1C is 5.4. My blood sugar is stable. I have more energy. I feel stronger. And I'm more physically active than I've been in years. But 1 year later, and I've only lost about 34 pounds. I thought for sure I would have lost at least 60 pounds by now. And today, I'm just tired. I'm tired of carrying this weight. I'm tired of looking in the mirror and not seeing the person that I feel like I am on the inside. Mounjaro has changed my health, but it hasn't changed how I feel living in this body. And that's what I want to talk about today. Welcome to Slow and Steady with Andi. I'm Andi, and I am on Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, PCOS, and ridiculously slow weight loss. In today's video, we're talking about something that I have been thinking a lot about lately. Mounjaro has absolutely improved my health, but now after being on it for a year, I am so frustrated with how slow the weight loss has been. And then towards the end of this video, I will give you an update on how week 7 on 12.5 milligram Mounjaro has went, as well as take my week 8 injection with you all. So 1 year in, and this definitely isn't where I thought I would be. I started my Mounjaro journey in the beginning of June of 2025, and at the time I'm filming this video, it is July of 2026. So officially 1 year in, and I have lost a total of 34 pounds. And yes, I'm grateful for that 34 pounds that I've lost, but when you watch other people losing weight so fast on these medications, I can't help but feel so disappointed that I haven't lost more. I am really thankful for the health progress that I have made so far, but I'm just not going to pretend that this is where I wanted to be after 1 year. And mentally, this is where it gets really confusing because Mounjaro did work, just not in the way I expected. Fairly quickly on, I want to say by the 4th or 5th month of being on the medication, my A1C went from 7.9 to 5.4. My blood sugar stabilized. Before I started the Mounjaro, I was having spikes of up to 260s, 280s, and that's starting to get pretty high. Now, since being on the medication, no matter what I include in my meal, which I do eat carbs, my blood sugar stays within my range of a low of 70 to a high of 180. I have not went over 180 at all. And that is truly amazing. This medication was designed for people with type 2 diabetes. So it did do what it was supposed to do. And some of the other things that have happened that I have talked about in other videos, but I feel are worth mentioning again, is I have Meniere's disease, which is a vestibular disorder. And basically, I get fluid buildup behind my eardrum. It's not the type of fluid where they could put a tube in there to drain it. I control that fluid buildup by controlling my sodium and making sure that I drink a lot of water. However, I did have a lot of balance issues because of it. And because I always felt really wonky, like I could tip over or trip or fall at any time because my balance was so off, I was walking with a walking stick, a cane, everywhere I went. And within the first couple months of being on Mounjaro, I did not have that effect going on anymore, and I haven't had to use a walking stick ever since, which is amazing. I feel so free. And I also feel stronger. My energy levels have went up dramatically. I feel mentally just a lot better. Things like food noise and boredom eating are definitely not something that's running my life at all anymore. And when I talk about me being more active since being on the medication, it's very drastic. My balance issues controlled a lot of what I did because I had fallen. At that point, I had fallen 3 times. One of those times was a pretty severe fall where I got a head injury and had a concussion and a lot of after effects from that concussion. And so I walked very slowly no matter what I did. And I was kind of mentally afraid to have much activity. I can clearly see that now that I was afraid to fall again. I probably was dealing with maybe a little bit of PTSD from the head injury, but anyways, I am really active now. I do all the things that I loved to do before I had that head injury. And one of those things is I love my garden. I love summertime. I love being outside, working in the yard, doing all the things, and just being outside in nature. And even the indoor things, treadmill, lifting weights, even things like cleaning the house. I could only do very small windows at a time because I would quickly get dizzy, especially if it involved having to bend over and like put things away in the cupboard. Anything like that, I would get very lightheaded and very wonky. But that has just really subsided. So, yes, I am really grateful for the health benefits. Oh, yeah, and my blood pressure. My blood pressure medication has been cut in half. Mounjaro isn't just about the weight loss, there are so many other factors that will determine whether it's working or not. So, with all that being said, I can't sit here and tell you that Mounjaro isn't working because it clearly is. It's just not working on the one thing that I thought it would change the fastest. And maybe that's why this is all messing with my head so much. And you guys, I'm just tired. I have been the fat girl for most of my life. When I was in my younger years, so before like 11 or 12 years old, I was a pretty scrawny kid. I was always a very, very active kid. And then once I crossed over into puberty, the weight just started to pile on and I started to feel really self-conscious. It was very obvious. And I remember the moment I left elementary school at 4th grade, and after 4th grade, we went from elementary to a middle school. So I remember getting to the first day of 5th grade and seeing all the people that I knew from elementary school, plus other people, and looking around me and realizing I do not look like them anymore. I was chunky. I left 4th grade skinny and came into 5th grade chunky. And from that moment on, because I was so self-conscious, I just retreated. I stopped really interacting with the people I was friends with from elementary. I started to get bullied from some of the people that came from other schools, so people I didn't grow up with. And it just really became hard. I really struggled, especially through middle school and junior high. High school was a little better. As you can see, I was still chunky, but I was in choir and our high school choir, we had 4 different choirs. You started with your freshman year choir, and then as you advanced, you would get put into higher level choirs like jazz choir, concert choir, that sort of thing. So by 11th grade, I was in all 4 choirs. So most of my day was choir, which, hello, that was great. Especially senior year. Most of my day was choir and music classes. But anyways, going off track because if you've been with me for a while, that's what your girl does. But anyhow, I had a lot of girlfriends because I was in choir. I still was getting bullied, and just a fun fact that I found out several years later in my adult life after I was married and whatnot, I found out that my best friend from high school was the one who actually started the wonderful name that people would call me, and they would call me Troll because I was short, and a lot of times I would dye my hair like colors. And anyways, yeah, I'm no longer friends with her, just to let you know. I cut that off pretty quickly. But anyhow, those were my years. And now here as an adult, I am a pretty confident person. I, for the most part, don't let my size stop me. I sing with the praise team at our church, which puts me on a platform with people staring at me. Well, not staring at me. I don't want to say staring at me, but I'm there like putting myself out in public on a platform, which sometimes is pretty scary, but what I love to do outweighs my fears. There are some other things that my weight does stop me from doing, and I'm working on that. But this is my reality. I don't enjoy going clothes shopping. I don't like the way clothes look on my body. I I truly feel like the person that I feel like on the inside doesn't match this person that I look at in the mirror. It's like the more I try to lose weight, the more my own body fights me to try to hold on to every pound. And I know that some people are able to lose the weight quickly on these medications, and I am very happy for them. But my reality is I'm a type 2 diabetic. I am now in perimenopause, entering into menopause probably anytime now. I have PCOS, which also is something that causes my body to want to hang on to every pound. And it's just not that easy. It's not that simple when you have all these other health issues going on. No matter what anybody says to you, it's not just about calories and exercise, because I am doing those things. Could I be doing more? Yes, I am not somebody who's going to hide what I am or what I am not doing from you. Of course, there's probably more I can do, but my busy lifestyle and the hours I work on top of the busy life that I have only allow a window of doing certain things. I'm not just sitting in my house and eating and not losing weight. I am very active. It just may not always be going for a 3-mile walk or doing a 2-mile on the treadmill twice a day, and, really focusing on that type of exercise, because I can only do so much in a day, and there are other things that just take up my time, and that's the truth of it. I probably do need to figure out how to cut out some things to make more time to focus on the exercise part of it, but that's because I want to continue getting stronger. But I will also tell you that in the times where I have done very hardcore exercise. I'm talking, say, in my younger years in high school, I was basically trying to not eat myself into losing weight and walking miles and miles and miles every day. My best friend and I, not the one who called me a troll, but another friend of mine, before we were of the age we could, borrow the parents' car, we walked everywhere. We would walk to the mall, we would walk just everywhere. And she was super skinny and ate whatever she wanted. And even with all that walking, I did not lose the weight. So I know my body has some sort of issues that just prevent me from losing weight. I do not overeat. I really have never been somebody who is an overeater. Even in my younger years, when I started piling on the weight, I grew up in a very healthy household when it comes to food. My parents were Sicilian immigrants. They came from a time, so my parents were born in the 1930s, so they were children in Sicily during World War II, and they were pretty poor, especially my mom and her family. And they grew up eating a lot of vegetables and maybe some fish. My mom and dad really didn't even really care for chicken or beef or anything like that. My mom would cook some of those things sometimes just because, I was born here, so I wanted some of the things that all the other kids were eating. But anyways, we did not eat junk food. Going to a fast food place was like a once a month super special occasion. So I was still gaining that weight even though I was eating in a healthy household. And I just wanted to share all that with you to give you just more of a perspective of where I come from versus where I am now, and why this has been so frustrating for me. Because when I found out that I could be on Mounjaro, that my insurance was going to cover it, I had so much hope that maybe for the first time in my life, I would finally start winning this battle. And I just want to make this clear that this isn't me saying I'm giving up, because I'm not giving up. This isn't me saying that the Mounjaro doesn't work, because it does work. It's just me sharing this really rough week of emotions with you and sharing with you that I'm tired, and I'm tired of being fat. And I think a lot of other slow responders are tired too. So that is where my head has been at this week. Now let me share this week's weekly update with you guys. So after going back to the arm injection last week, I am so happy to tell you that the appetite suppression came back. I missed it that week. I really did. I will never ever do belly injection again. So yeah, the appetite suppression part of it went really great. And it was a very busy week for me. So I was probably eating maybe once, maybe twice a day. But you're going to see somewhere on the screen the screenshot from my Scales app. And even with the appetite suppression coming back this week, I am up, I think it's 2 pounds. And I feel it. I feel incredibly bloated. It probably, again, is bloating. I don't know why. Maybe I'm going through another cycle. I don't know. My hormones are just crazy. My body is just crazy. But I definitely can feel the bloating, and it is showing on the scale. Let me know. Do you guys, when you get bloated in like your belly, do you just feel like your belly is heavier? Because that's how I feel. I don't feel like the rest of my body is really any different. I don't think my face is bloated and my hands aren't bloated. And actually, this ring is super loose. I'm almost to the point where I can't wear this one because it tends to want to spin around and sit like this. So when I'm working, it's like really aggravating to wear it. So my hands aren't bloated. It's just my belly is like poofed out. And I just hate that feeling. It has me feeling kind of crabby today. I almost didn't film this video because of that. I'm still focusing really heavy on protein, trying to meet the minimum amount that my nutritionist set for me, which is 132 grams a day. And my calorie count, because I really haven't been eating that frequently, is well within my limit. Even though I'm not tracking it on like my Fitness Pal or anything like that, I've explained before that I am a creature of habit with what I eat. So those things that I typically eat throughout the week, I have tracked at some point. So I know just by eating that thing that I'm within this amount of calories and so on and so forth. I do not snack throughout the day unless my blood sugar is dropping. Then I might have something that will help bring it back up. But no, I'm not snacking. I'm not eating junk. I watch my sugar big time because of my type 2 diabetes, and I'm not on insulin. So I have to keep my blood sugar from spiking too high by helping the Mounjaro and not eating sugar all the time. I really am proud of myself for being able to control my eating habits the best I ever have, and I'm sure it is because of the Mounjaro helping with any type of food noise or cravings. As for side effects, yes, your girl still burps and farts. Yes, I said farts instead of passes gas because I'm just that type of girl. I'm blunt and I say it like it is, and it's okay. It will be okay. We can say fart. Anyways, yes, I burp and fart. I said it again. Sorry. Other side effects, once in a while I still get the diarrhea. I think that adding more fiber into my diet does help control that, but it's usually, if it happens, it's just in the morning and then it goes away, so we're fine. My sleep is still pretty good. I think a lot of that has to do with the melatonin melton strips that I take. If you are interested in seeing the brand of melatonin strips that I use, you can check it out in my Amazon storefront. You can find that link in my description box. And just as a disclaimer, if you did purchase something after clicking that link, I would get a small percentage of that. That's pretty much it for this week. It's been very hot here. Let me know if it's been really hot where you're at. I like it. We do have an above ground pool. That's probably why I like it, because in Michigan, it's really hard to keep a pool warm unless you have a heater on that. And so I am just really appreciating the hot weather. My garden is also appreciating it. My zucchini and my cucumber. What else? My green beans. They're all just starting to just thrive beautifully. My tomato plants, I have some that are getting really, really big already and have tomatoes already. So I'm just excited. I love growing my own vegetables. It's just one of those really satisfying feelings in life. Maybe at some point, if I remember, I will get you some pictures of that. Maybe it will be in this video. I don't know. But I will try to give you a peek of my little garden. Now let me just get set up to take my week 8 12.5 milligram injection with you guys. Okay, and of course this is my favorite part. Three, two, one, go. don't know, maybe I'm getting better at finding the sweet spot because it didn't hurt too bad on this arm either. So week 8 is now in my system doing its thing. I still have 2 more months of Mounjaro sitting in my fridge. I'm curious to see when I go to my next doctor's appointment if they're going to suggest that I go up to the next dose. I kind of want to just stay on this. I feel like as long as I'm getting the appetite suppression, I might as well just stay right here, because dose after dose after dose, going to the higher dose has not helped me lose weight any quicker. If you're a slow responder or you feel like your health improved long before the scale did, you're in the right place. If that's the honest kind of journey you're looking for, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. And if this video helped you feel a little less alone, please hit the like button and give it a hype. That helps YouTube put this video out to more people who might need to hear that they aren't alone on this slow weight loss journey. Has your health improved faster than your weight loss on Mounjaro or GLP-1? Tell me about it in the comments. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Whether your journey is moving fast or painfully slow, please do not give up on yourself. Slow and steady is not always easy. It's definitely not always exciting, but it is still moving forward. I'm still here. I'm still working on my health, and I will see you in the next one.
I've seen a
Bye.
lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things